This is CRM Audio, the Microsoft Dynamics CRM podcast, with George Dubinsky, Joel Lindstrom, and Shawn, the CRM Hobbit Tabor.
This episode of CRM Audio is sponsored by Alexa CRM. WordPress powers more than 25% of all the websites on the internet and is the number one choice for blogs, websites, and portals because it's open source, simple to use, reliable, and extendable. Dynamics CRM has become a de facto standard in sales, marketing, customer service, and industry solutions. Now they can work together thanks to the Dynamics CRM WordPress plugin built with love by the Alexa CRM team. Capture forms, engage your users and customers, all without writing any code. Control your site in WordPress, keeping your data in CRM. To build the plugin, Alexa CRM has created an open source Dynamics CRM PHP toolkit, unlocking the world of Dynamics for PHP developers. Download your 30-day trial from alexacrm.com/plugin and instantly create a portal by connecting your CRM and WordPress site. We thank Alexa CRM for their sponsorship of CRM Audio.
So I'm in Normal, Illinois this morning. I love the name Normal, Illinois because it's like the lowest expectation for a town name you can come up with. It's just a normal town.
So everything is normal.
That's right.
Fantastic.
That's right.
Now, explain to me, how did you manage park the car at 8:45 and take 9:20 flight? I thought there is a hard cutoff, like 30 minutes before boarding or 20 minutes at least for local.
They strongly recommend that you be at the gate 30 minutes in advance, and so it can be it can take a while to get through security as well. I just hit it at the right time, I guess. I parked in the daily lot, walked into the airport. I didn't have any luggage because it's basically a one-day trip, and I went directly to the TSA pre-check line. I was I think number 2 in line for that, and then I made it to my gate. Easy.
It is easy, but it does depend where you were flying from. Atlanta, so it's a big airport.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. And I read
if you gate E, then it will take you like probably 3 hours just to get from the entrance to the gate.
I read a book called How Not to Be Wrong by Jordan Ellenberg. It's how to use mathematical thinking for life kind of thing. And it had a chapter. The basic concept was, if you never miss a flight, you're getting to the airport too early. Taking the equation of, the value of your time and the risk of missing the flight versus the value of having more time. And it said if you've never missed a flight, you're probably getting to the airport too soon and not optimizing your time. I've had times where I've walked up, 2 or 3 times where they're about to shut the gate and I make it through the last one on the plane. I've never actually missed a plane in the last, 5 years.
Look, it did occur to me when I was at the connection in somewhere in Abu Dhabi. I think I was flying through Abu Dhabi and I had a few hours, and it did occur to me when they were calling someone's name on the speaker, saying, "Mr. Such and Such, please go to gate, blah, blah, blah." And I said, look, the one surefire way to ensure that you called in person is actually to check in a small piece of luggage. Because if you don't check in any luggage, they're not going to wait for you. If you do check in, it could be a tiny suitcase, empty one for all I care. Once it's loaded on the plane, they have to wait. Then the effort of unloading the luggage, finding your suitcase, unloading it, and then putting the rest back versus inconvenience in a number of passengers, say 150 people, for another 10-15 minutes. So if you can actually improve your chances of making it in time, and you can hear your name over the loudspeaker. Just make sure you check in a small piece of luggage. Now, then I proceeded to post this idea on the Facebook without mentioning any other circumstances, and that driven my family to panic because they deduced that I actually missed my flight.
Did I see it was your birthday, Shawn?
I didn't hear it, but it was yesterday. Yes, it was.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, sir.
Happy
I
birthday.
spent my birthday in the sky, flying from San Francisco to...
Have people been lavishing you with gifts?
No. No. But many very nice acknowledgments over social media. So that was very nice.
Did you ever hear your name over the loudspeaker asking you to go to gate immediately?
One time, I was in Detroit, and I flew. It was a layover from, or it was a connecting flight from LaGuardia, and it took so long to take off in LaGuardia. I had to run the entire length of the Detroit airport, and yeah.
Now, that I need to
Well,
see.
yeah, it was a sight. My little legs jostling to and fro to get me to that gate, and I get there and I'm about to pass out, and the lady goes, "Oh, sweetie, we were waiting for you. It was fine." I was so mad, so mad.
Did you have a piece of luggage checked in?
No, I had my computer bag and my carry-on.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So here goes my theory.
All right. Well, Shawn, I was sorry you missed the last episode with Gus Gonzalez.
As was I.
Mega long episode. That was a fun episode.
It was a great episode. I learned quite a lot about the both of them.
I'm looking behind me. I don't think Gus is going to break into this episode. Hopefully not. So, we got any news?
We had bus catching fire on the harbor bridge, closed 3 lanes of traffic.
It was recently announced that our friends over at HP just decided to move from SalesForce to Microsoft for their entire sales and service crews.
I thought it was kind of mixed bag. Sales was Salesforce and service was Oracle.
That's true, but now they're moving from both of those to CRM. To Dynamics.
And you used to be an
their
HP.
shares are
You used to be an HP employee, right?
Yes, I used to be an HP employee, and they went to Salesforce, and it quite significantly impeded our ability to sell CRM deals because the sales team wasn't using CRM. So it was quite a funny thing.
So why do you think HP decided to move? Is it the money? Is it the right partnership move? Or what would be the driving force behind the decision like that, which is kind of probably runs into millions and millions of dollars, just a changeover? And I wonder, it's been a while since I worked for the large companies, so I wonder what is the key factor in the decision-making process at that scale.
I think
yeah, go ahead.
I bet part of it was a partnership deal. Clearly, I think, in my opinion, given my experience there before. But really, I think that the platform has improved so significantly from 3 years ago that it makes just an enormous amount of sense, given their investments in the Microsoft platform overall. That's a better move to go. What are your thoughts?
At that, right, for a big name like HP, I'm sure Microsoft got extremely competitive on the licensing fee, and also, with Salesforce, as we talked about before, the general life cycle is it gets more and more expensive every year. At scale, with that many users, it's pretty easy to paint an ROI picture on license alone to make a switch. Now, there's a lot of other things, a lot of integrations, a lot of different groups, and a lot of the culture that needs to be factored in there. So, but I'm sure that Microsoft was very competitive to land a big name like HP as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just looking at the article in Fortune. on Fortune.com. It was all going well for me, but then the penny dropped. I'm quoting. Earlier this summer, the company announced Dynamics 365, its grand plan to converge its enterprise resource planning (ERP) with CRM. ERP is a fancy name for accounting software.
Yeah.
Would you agree with this
Is that
assessment?
what the article says? That it's a fancy name? Oh,
Yes, ERP is a fancy name for accounting software.
That's part of it, and that's one of the key uses. But there's more to it than that.
slightly.
Yeah, I think it's a bit insulting for the entire ERP sector and for our friends.
Our AX friends would probably differ with that assessment.
Yes, I would think so.
Yeah, that would beg to differ.
Are they writing articles for 6-year-olds now?
It sounds like it. They keep sentences very short and simple, so 2 sentences per paragraph. Yeah, so it does look like article for 6-year-old.
We also had in other Microsoft CRM news, they just launched 2 UK regions for Azure and 365, and that was last week. I'm not sure if you guys talked about that, but they have 2 new UK data center regions for the Azure Public Cloud and Office 365 services.
Now that got me absolutely confused because there is data center in Ireland, so bringing 2 extra in UK, is that Microsoft hedging bets on Brexit? What's the story with that? Additional data centers are warranted, or it's more to do with the locality of the data?
Well, wouldn't it be more of a geographic play, and that locality of data, I would think would behoove them to have more data centers in that region, especially with the thought of a Brexit. You could have very significant Euro rules that the UK does not have to play in anymore, right? So they may want their data outside of the European Union.
Yeah, and even now it probably makes sense. I was just in New Zealand not so long ago, and I was asking our New Zealand friends how do they deal with the data centers being in Australia, and how their government is sort of looking at data residency and data reside in Australia, situation when precisely the situation we were a couple of years back when data centers were in Singapore. Interestingly enough, there are apparently special agreements between New Zealand and Australia that allow some exceptions. So certain government departments where security clearance level is low, they allowed storing their data storage in Australian data centers. So there are some exceptions to the rule. But I assume that UK data centers have to do more with data residency and perhaps Brexit, which doesn't help, than excessive traffic or anything like that, because Ireland is like literally next door in terms of internet. Hey,
well, there's one other one that came out just yesterday. They did announce pricing for the Dynamics 365 for Business Edition, and it looks like it's going to start at $50 per user per month, and that's from an article I read on our.
But we don't know what Business Edition is going to include.
So what it said in the article.
We don't know if it's going to be CRM either.
Right. What it said in the article.
No, we know it includes Madeira.
Right, and it said in the article that I'm reading, it says it includes financials, sales, and marketing. But sales and marketing have a little asterisks, and it says available Q2 calendar year 2017. Whereas Enterprise, the 365 Enterprise Edition has operations, sales, marketing, customer service, field service, project service, which sounds like CRM.
It's simplified.
Yes. Yes. So, and then of course it says includes embedded intelligence, Power Apps, and Flow. So Just interesting that they're announcing the sales pricing, and it does say Dynamics 365 Business Edition coming soon, $50 per user, and then it also shows Power Apps $40, and Financials $40, Sales $40, Marketing $40, but Sales and Marketing are coming soon.
Yeah, that's not quite clear how we're gonna take advantage of this. Though I've seen some pictures when you have choice of going across the board. That's kind of clear. You pay X dollars and you get
Hmm.
everything, or you kind of the picture was different roles like sales, operations, and all sort of stuff, and then licensing rectangle was kind of covering part of that. So. Um, I'm not sure how can I have can I have please quarter of the license? Is that what's supposed to be? Like if I need a bit of this, a bit of that, 3 days of that, 5 days of these, can I purchase part of the license? I'm not sure how it's gonna work. Reminds me old days when I was working with the company who used to purchase CPU time or additional CPUs from IBM. I don't remember what machine it was. Was it the AS400 or whatever? No, probably not. Probably something bigger. But to crunch the end of the year reports, they used to rent CPU like for 1 month. Extra couple CPUs cost like $20,000 or something like that. But that was the idea that you kind of rent service for a short duration when there's a peak time. So here I'm not so sure, like you're saying 40, 40, 40, 40. So when I put them all together, what is it, $200? I can make a bet that none of those services will be self-contained enough to be useful on its own. That would be a huge challenge, and I seriously doubt that it's gonna happen. My bet is that we will find ourselves very quickly in the situation when there's only one realistic choice, and that to go with the plan,
It will definitely.
Yeah, I
whatever
think you'll
price
find
it
if
will.
you are start adding things together like sales and customer service and project service and field service, definitely you'll be better off with the package.
Mhm.
No, no, but what I meant is that remember all this brouhaha with the essential, basic, and professional
Uh-huh.
licenses, and then we said, hold on, you can't use that, but how can you send email? So you're allowed to create activity, but no, hold on, license shouldn't allow that, and we find ourselves in a situation where it's confusing. Um, and we were never explained properly what the restrictions are. So what I'm saying is, imagine you want to run project services, right? Believe me, and project services, let's say they produce work order, and work order is part of the field services. So what, you're not allowed to create work order? How they shut down this functionality? Is it not going to be delivered, or it's going to pop up a message saying you don't have a license? It's like it's gonna be so confusing because those bits and pieces, like project services, sales, and customer service in CRM terms, they so overlapping and they so wired into each other that I doubt that they will be able to untangle that in a short time.
There's
Can
Um,
we get to our lead story?
now is our lead story the one
The one you put at the top of the list.
about Microsoft surpassing Salesforce
Yeah.
as an enterprise software? Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I thought. I was just getting there. So yeah, this was as of last week. Microsoft surpassed Salesforce in enterprise software as a service revenue, which is a really big deal. Um, Now this is from saw this on GeekWire, which is appropriate for how I get my news. Um, this is including not only Office 365 CRM, but all of the online software as a service components and the this is the first time that Microsoft has been ahead of Salesforce in recent history. So this is quite a big deal.
I saw you were a little miffed at Salesforce this last weekend because of your fantasy football thing.
Oh my good Lord, yes, I was. So ESPN Fantasy Football uses Force.com as their platform for their fantasy football engine, right? Week one, like half hour after kickoff, goes down. So my comment on social media, if ESPN Fantasy Football hosted their application on Azure, I probably would have been able to get to my scores. I'm just saying. But I had to wait till about the third quarter before I got my score. It's frustrating. Still won.
How do you decide which sport you're focused on at a given time? You are like a man of all sports.
I am right now. I'm deep into baseball. We're getting into crunch time for playoffs. My Red Sox are in first place, but hanging on by a game. Following Arsenal in the English Premier League, and now I'm my Bears in the NFL. So
and hockey, who are you cheering for in hockey?
Tampa Bay Lightning, Go Bolts. And then basketball will start up pretty soon, so my Celtics will be roaring back. So yeah, it's quite a nice time of the year.
It must be very tiring to be you.
It is in so many ways. I cannot even tell you. So, but that is that's our news for today, Mr. Phil.
Okay, speaking of data centers, I'll send you this link. Microsoft has this, the Trust Center where they have information about privacy and everything. Mm-hmm. Well, they have this thing where you can see data centers, see for your region what data centers there are. And I love how it's worded. It says, the following are locations Microsoft has elected to disclose to the general public. That means there's some undisclosed data centers.
That's been known for a while. Yeah. I was told years ago when Azure was just doing baby steps, and we asked during the discussion, we asked about locations of data centers. We were pointed to some data centers, and then there was a disclosure that there are some undisclosed data centers, and we're not going to know where they are. So no one is going to disclose where they are, and that's going to stay this way.
But the confusing thing about this is if you scroll down, you see the map and you scroll down, it has a list of the following are locations Microsoft has elected to disclose. And this list is super confusing because if you look at, for example, Japan, it includes Amsterdam, United States, Ireland, Hong Kong, and it's like, my first thought was, does somebody not know their geography when I read this? But the thing is, it's showing not where their data centers are, but also if you're in that region where your data may be located.
Look, you never know if the names are just coincidental, because you're in town called Normal, right?
That's right.
A couple years back, I was flying from, I think Atlanta. I was flying to Europe, going via Paris. I was going somewhere, I don't remember. But as I was flying, I fell asleep and I was really tired. And then suddenly I woke up and looked at the screen in front of me with the flying map, and here it was, Sydney. And it took me like 20 or 30 seconds of some rapid thinking, saying, Sydney? Why are we not landing? I'm home. Why am I home? And then the city of Sydney, of population of 40,000, just disappeared from the view like within 3 minutes. And here I was, really, really confused, just woke up and flying over Sydney. So you never know. Maybe there is a town in regional Japan called Netherlands.
Well, the thing is, it makes sense once you select a region, because if you, for example, select Australia, it says Office 365 will be in Victoria, your Sway and Yammer will be in the United States, your Azure Active Directory may be in the Netherlands or Hong Kong. So it makes sense when you click on a region, but the whole list together is really confusing. Which I think is it's kind of cool that they're showing that granularity of the different services and where the data may reside.
Yeah, and it's getting really interesting from legal point of view. You know that there are a few like a couple of weeks ago, Microsoft won a significant court
Mm-hmm.
case against the your own U.S.
Mm-hmm.
government when the FBI request to turn over data stored in Ireland was turned down by courts.
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft argued that they don't have to turn over um, data stored overseas, even though data belongs to Microsoft. They argued that FBI's request not illegal, but what's the term
Goes
I'm
outside
looking
of their
for?
jurisdiction.
In simple terms, FBI can bugger off. Basically,
No, I think I
that's
think
the
that's the
bottom line.
legalese you're talking right there. I think it said in the decision that they could bugger off.
So all our listeners, your assignment today is to use the phrase "bugger off," preferably in a client meeting.
Yeah.
All right. So Shawn, you were telling me you found a cool use case for the relevance search feature.
Yeah, I did. I was working on with a client this week, and the way that we were structuring the account entity, it was one of those situations where they had many different ways that they needed to leverage the account. Okay, so for a given company, you could have 3 layers of um, of independence within that structure. However, they wanted to still use the account. So it wasn't a situation where you could easily go to, say, oh, okay, I'm just going to create a custom entity and have parent-child relationships for the global company, and then the regional company, and then the uh, independent offices underneath. For a number of reasons, flow of information, flow of activities, and a lot of the out-of-the-box functions of the account, we wanted to just keep it all together. But they were running into a problem when they were using the global search in being able to isolate certain levels, right? So you type, for example, if you were working with a company for City Guide, okay, you want to find City Guide, you type that, you could have 150 different results, most of which may not even be the level you're looking for. What we did is we enabled relevance search that gave them the ability to not only use a better structure for their keywords on their search that gave them a little more flexibility than just quick find, because with quick find, basically, you have a set number of fields that you're searching against, and it will return results based on those columns. With relevance search, we check the entities that we wanted to include for relevance search, obviously, and it's searching against all the fields on those objects, and it comes back with a much more intuitive list of search parameters and results. And it really gave them what they needed and allowed us to stay out of box for the data structure. So it improved our data model, and not having to go outside with custom objects and then start dealing with additional code to link items together, like notes and activities, and have those normal flows that you would have just if you stayed within the record. So it was a very simple configuration, just turning on relevant search and a little bit of making sure you had the right configuration for the objects. But once that happened, it was as if a light came on with them, and it was really well received. So relevant search, very very powerful. Um, we did have to go through a whole discussion about the fact that the um, information was going into Azure just for due diligence, but once all that was understood and checked off, they seemed very happy with the solution. So,
So what's the effect of turning that on entities that you may not want that behavior? Does it cause any weird behavior where you just want normal search results?
well, you can flip from relevant search to categorized search very easily.
Oh,
So
okay,
you
okay.
can go back to the standard global search, which was another feature that was fantastic. Um, it gives you that double capability, and it's very intuitive for the user. Um, so it gives you the full depth and breadth of the relevant search when you want it. But if you want simple, just normal searching capabilities, you just flip back to categorized search, and it looks just like normal global search and gives you the same results. So, really awesome functionality, and worked extremely well for my client.
Okay, great. Um,
So could you explain to me why it's called categorized search and how is it different from the global search?
Well, from everything I saw, category search was the same as global search. That was simply,
Oh, okay, it's just a different
yeah,
name.
that was just, it said go back to category search. You click that link, and you're back to global search.
Ah, okay. So it's either relevant search or categorized search, which is another name for
Right.
global search. Okay. Oh, okay. But it's only available in North America, right?
I believe so at this time,
As far as
yes.
I understand. Yeah, it's in preview because I was trying to show it the other day and I couldn't find
Hmm.
it. And I always blame it on inconsistencies between features in the data
Hmm.
center. Um, One of the advantages of having very rapid advancement in different areas with CRM and having multiple data centers that if anything goes wrong with the demo, you quickly switch to the mode saying, oh, it's not available in this region, or unfortunately, Irish data center is misbehaving at this time of the day, or update is happening. So you can always find someone else to blame
Hmm.
for uh, poor preparation for the demo.
And keep in mind something else to keep in mind when you have relevant search turned on. If it only works in main search area where we're used to global search, if you go to quick find views, it's going to be the normal
Okay.
search.
Can it digest knowledge base articles?
I didn't have any installed in my environment and didn't have that configured, but you know what? I will. I'll take a look and I'll have a report next time.
yeah, I think the feature is very powerful. I've also found that you, if you're starting with a brand new deployment, it doesn't always have value day one
Hmm.
because you don't have any data.
Right.
So you're not you can't really test it out and search for stuff. But once you have you have a year's worth of data and you're searching, your data is building up, then it's really powerful.
And what was kind of neat about relevant search is once you start using it, um, the system will continue to use that until you switch back. So it's not one of those things where you have to always say, okay, I want to use. You have to like switch to relevant search. It's using your last search that you used. So it was it was kind of cool. And if you wanted to be specific from your own specific user experience, you can go into settings and indicate which search experience you want to use as default. So you could use
Okay,
relevant search, categorized search, or you can indicate you want to use the last search. Um, use last search is the default um, without changing anything. But if you always want to use categorized search, you can do that.
got it. Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, I have a tool recommendation this week, and I can't believe I haven't mentioned this one before, but it's the org settings utility on CodePlex. Have you guys all used that?
Oh, one's at a party. But
No, it's this great tool that I forget about until I need it, and when you need it, it's invaluable because if you don't know, there's these organization settings that there's a number of them, and not all of them are highly publicized, but ways to change the behavior of CRM from an organization setting, both for online and on premises. And Microsoft has a tool that comes with the update roll-ups, but it's a kludgy tool to use. It involves extracting files and running command prompts and everything like that. But the professional field engineering team, Microsoft, one of the resources there, has created this tool that loads as a solution and makes it super easy to change those settings. The most recent example of where we needed it was we were finding that the new document templates were not working for on contacts in one deployment. They were trying to show some relationships and it would fail with some SQL error. And the fix was to use the orgdborg settings tool to enable the retrieve multiple optimization. And other times I've used it in the last week include a client who had mobile but had about 120 fields on their opportunity form, so enabling changing the limit on the number of fields available on the fields on the form for mobile is where it is. So again, I can't believe I haven't mentioned it. It's one of the most useful tools out there. And what I also love about it is it's educational because it shows all the settings, all the orgdborg settings, and has a link to the KB article that explains what the setting does. It also shows the minimum and maximum settings.
That does sound very useful. And that you got that right from the support site, or are you getting that from?
No, it's Codeplex.
Oh, okay.
Search for Dynamics CRM Organization Settings Editor, also known as the orgdborg settings. And I like it too because growing up, I was a big fan of the Muppet Show, and if you say orgdborg, you sound like the Swedish Chef. So that's a bonus.
We should rename it the Swedish Chef tool. Yeah, so that's at orgdborgsettings.codeplex.com.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So I was recalling a conversation we had, Shawn, about your experiment with social marketing and how you got a much lower level of response than you expected to.
Yes.
I have a friend, Timothy Buck, who is starting a design company, and with the release or the announcement of the iPhone 7, they launched a parody product site for what they call Apple Plug. If you go to appleplug.com, it's basically how to upgrade your iPhone 6 to an iPhone 7 by taking a headphone plug and plugging it into the headphone jack to remove your headphone jack. Mm-hmm. But they got millions and millions of hits, and it was shown on Adweek, The Verge, The Atlantic, a lot of these, and a lot of top Twitter sites. It was got a mention on the BBC and Mashable, Gizmodo, mm-hmm. And so the whole look at what's the impact when something like that blows up, and they basically the way they did it was really smart. They wound up they got like 7 terabytes worth of bandwidth of data from it, and they didn't pay anything for it.
Yeah,
they started with a GitHub site. And then once it got up to the limit of 100,000 or whatever that is, they switched over to another a plan from Cloudflare, which transitioned the CDN to that, and that handled 99% of the bandwidth. And their conversion rate, they have a sign up. The way they designed it, it looks like an Apple page if you haven't seen it.
Yes, it does.
And it's got when you hit the buy, it's got a little sign up for information. They got 0.25% conversion rate, and that was they got about 5,000 or about 1 in every 400 visitors subscribed.
And it was hilarious. It really was hilarious.
It captures the tone of Johnny Ive perfectly. How, the arrogant, you weren't ready for the future until now.
Yeah. And you're courageous for, And did you see the newest thing that's an actual real product? The cord that they're selling to, so you don't lose your earbuds.
Oh, like an exercise thing for
Yeah,
your cordless earbuds, putting a cord on them?
yeah. So you just don't lose them. Uh, yeah,
That's fantastic.
yes,
Well, I think there is value in it. I guess one of the things, as I understand it, by removing the headphone jack, uh, it helps to make it waterproof or make it more water resistant.
yeah. They were able to do that, and it also allows them to, I think, make it a little bit thinner.
Yeah, I just know I can't get my Bluetooth headset to last the whole flight right now. So,
Nor can I. Nor can I.
and add to that, I lose earbuds all the time, and so I'm always going to the airport store and buying the cheap earbuds because I forgot to bring them or didn't have them. That's what would make me hesitant to spend $200 on a pair of earbuds.
And by cheap, you mean $23.
I think the one I'm holding in my hand right now was
There you
1995
go.
at Hudson News.
Bargain. Did
George,
you fall victim to the iPhone 7? Did you order a new iPhone 7?
I have not. No, my iPhone 6 Plus is still working fine, and it's paid for.
Yeah.
So
I
those are those.
I have to say that I just upgraded iOS
To iOS 10?
on my 6. Yes, and there are a couple of features I've been quite impressed with. Um,
Like what?
just, I suppose, look, I suppose there is nothing new. I already had similar features when I was using an Android phone,
Hmm.
and but just tonight I was driving and I parked my car and I was waiting for my son, so I walked to the cafe to have a cup of coffee. And as I sat down for a cup of coffee, the message popped up saying, "Hey, you parked your car here. We just saved your location in the maps,
Oh, that's nice.
so you can take that." I
Is that
thought
on,
that
on
was
iPhone
impressive.
6?
Yes.
Huh. Is that a feature you guys
So,
turn
but
on? Mine doesn't do that.
I think
I have
I
no
think that's
idea
on by
what
I
did I
think that's on
do.
by default. Um,
Yeah, I think it's on because I never opted in for anything like that. But I think it just detected that I was driving at certain speed, and then I kind of walked, and then I was stationary, so it deduced that I parked my car, and I walked somewhere, and it popped out notification saying we saved location where you parked your car. So, and it was spot on the location.
so that is a
Um,
setting.
I thought that was
That's a
clever.
setting in the Maps app. That's Apple Maps.
I have no
Yeah. Oh, I'm
idea.
looking at it
I
right now.
think they also
Yeah, I'm looking at it
detect.
right now. It is
I
something
th
that says show park location of your car. It says your parked car will be shown on the
Yeah,
map.
yeah. Wait a minute. But how does it detect that you were in the car, and how does it detect that you parked? I think it may. It's kind of a bit of intelligence here, so it may detect, for example, that my phone was paired
Yes.
with the
It says a
car.
connection to your car's Bluetooth or CarPlay stereo is required.
Ah, okay. So here you go. So it does
Very
use
cool.
that, but it's one of those. Yeah, very very handy and
Hmm.
useful.
There you
So
go. Machine learning in real life.
Exactly.
yeah.
So I feel bad for the poor users of the Galaxy Note 7. That's they now on when you get on an airplane say you can't bring your Galaxy Note 7 on the plane.
Yeah.
It's basically like
Yeah.
hoverboards. I've never seen anybody try and bring a hoverboard on a plane, but I feel bad for people who
Well,
have that.
the Galaxy Note 7 users also have a very cool way of finding their car. Um,
It's on fire.
well, yeah, it's a charred Jeep, but you can get to it. There's generally a crowd, fire trucks, and no
Um,
connection to the Bluetooth for
would
calls.
you like to? Would you like some quiz on? I suppose it's a social profiling, social engineering.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the stats of our CRM Tip of the Day YouTube channel. We have by now nearly 1,000 subscribers, and we managed to waste over 35,000 minutes of worldwide. of people's time. But I'm looking at gender breakdown of the viewers by country, and there are some interesting, like majority of countries you've got like 80-20, so 80% males, about 20% females. So you've got top countries like United States, India, UK, Australia. Then you get to Germany and France with the 99% in Germany and 100% in France being males. But you never, then you get to the countries like New Zealand with 56 to 44%, or Israel with 60-40, or Singapore with 50-48. But you will never guess which country has 50-50 breakdown, male female. Take a wild guess.
Ireland.
No, Ireland is actually 100% male.
Australia.
Australia is 80-20 or 85-15.
That island that Wonder Woman's from?
Themyscira?
The country name.
Paradise
I
Island?
give you a hint. The country name starts with United.
United States?
No, that's
United
80-20.
Kingdom.
That's 87.
United Arab Emirates?
Manchester
Yes.
United.
Wow, UAE?
UAE has a 50-50
Wow.
breakdown male-female. You would never guess, right? So we always hear about, females being in Arabic countries being kind of second-class citizens and oppressed and all that sort of stuff. And here we go. United Arab Emirates absolutely lead the way in terms of CRM viewers. So here you go. Some social stats for you.
They probably
that
have a Derek
makes you-
Borman fan club there.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, perhaps. But yeah, I found that it's quite fascinating. Just drilling into this data. It's now I understand why people get so obsessed with Power BI, because it's it's a new Tetris. You can lose so much time just poking around your data. Viewer, gender, and it's only 2 dimensions, like male, female. There was something else. The one thing that I wanted just to kind of seed the topic for the future conversations. One of the areas that seems to be growing in popularity is how we can use Azure for web apps, and we can run servers and all this sort of stuff. But what's been gaining popularity lately is serverless architecture, where you need to perform some kind of manipulation of the data in the cloud, right? And your options until now been you run the server, and then you pull the data, or you push the data, and you do what you must, and then you push the data further, or you wait till someone collects it, what's not. And now we have things like Azure Functions or AWS Lambda, where you write a piece of functionality that you need, but you don't actually run servers at any point in time. You just rent computing time. It's all back to big big computers where you used to buy CPU time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we see that with things like Scribe Online are kind of like that. You're paying by usage.
Are you paying per record, per throughput?
They changed it. It used to be on the number of records you're doing. Now it's much more attractive, especially for smaller clients, in the way that they're doing it.
So what is it now? Is it per what? Per effort, or per some kind of magic pound of magic dust? What is it?
Yeah, I don't know how they do it, but basically they've scaled the pricing, because the per record thing was really attractive from my experience for larger clients. It scaled, but when you were not moving that much data, it got kind of pricey. I think Scribe Online is, I'm a big fan of Kingsway Soft, but I think Scribe Online their latest version has a lot of nice things. For example, being able to, you can actually update and manage your integration from mobile now. They got rid of Silverlight following the lead of the Report Workbench. Again, one more use of Silverlight goes away.
Well, we have to compensate for the extra long episode, and had people explicitly complaining about it.
Are you serious? There's people complaining about all that rich content?
Do these people not know how to like pause and resume?
No, I tell you what the funny side was, that why there was a complaint. The guy who was listening, he takes 1 hour walks in the evening. So he complained that our podcast didn't fit into his routine because he listens whilst he's walking. So he takes 1 hour walks, and said he had to walk for 1.5 hours.
Well, and I would agree that a little bit of Gus Gonzalez goes a long way. So
Sure.
This has been CRM Audio, the Microsoft Dynamics CRM podcast. You can hear previous episodes on our website, crm.audio. Subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, follow us on Twitter at CRM Audio, or leave us a comment on our Facebook page, facebook.com/CRM podcast. If you have any topic suggestions or questions that you would like for us to answer on a future episode, please drop us an email at voice@crm.audio. Special thanks to Dale Simmons for our theme music. Go check out his website, dalesimmons.com. Please join us next time on CRM Audio.